Good morning, my ape are back. Here's the plan. First, slightly controversially, today's Monday. On Saturday, it was day 137. Sunday, day of rest. I'm calling today day 139. I'll explain in a minute. On the build, the pool guys are continuing with the drainage around the outside of the pool. Then, I believe, they will move on to copping. Come back to that one soon as well. Inside the house, lots more plastering. Up on top of the house, roofing continues. And electrical. Had a word with the builder this morning. We had requested 3-wire wiring throughout the house, including neutral wires. In the last episode, I said there might be a bit of cattywampus with the wiring because I was only seeing 2 wires. So we're going to hopefully get that put right. What could possibly go wrong? Up on top, 2 things. There are now 3 guys working on the roof. We have an additional welder. The other thing, for the eagle-eyed amongst you, you will now see that the trusses are a different colour. That's the reason why today is 139. The roofing guys were all in on Sunday and put in a full day's work. And painted, I think, most of the trusses. Not quite all, I can still see bits and pieces not done yet. But they did put in a full day, and given that we have a roofing competition, even though the rest of the build crew were not in yesterday, I think we have to count that as a full day. So, yep, today's 139. And we will continue to watch how they get on today. At the pool, trench digging, pipe laying. So more of the drainage pipes going in to carry away overflow. After they've done that, my understanding is they start copping, or is it coping? Basically around the edge of the pool, they will again be going with a pebble dash finish. I don't know if that goes right up to the edge of the pool. I think it does. But that's the outside edge of the pool. Will be covered in that pebble dash type finish. Again, hopefully it's a smooth-ish finish so it can be walked upon without any damage to feet. After copping or coping, they get onto the floor in the pool. That's the next step. And speaking of copping or coping, we've got some doozies of phrases and words that people have submitted that are a bit odd, a bit off kilter. Possibly not everybody has heard of them, possibly none of you have heard of some of them. So we'll be going through those. There are a couple that I probably can't fully explain. They might be a bit close to the wind, but I'll explain them enough so you can, I'm sure, work out the missing bits. And that's next to the pool. And next-ish for this episode. Right, after those rather brief clips this morning, we had to head off for a while. It is now just after lunch. Marvin is now wearing some rather snappy leggings or socks. Is working inside the pantry on plaster. A new area. The dirty kitchen is getting its first plaster. Romwell's in there working on that one. I think it's Romwell. Oh, he's got his back to me. It might not be. Anyway, someone is plastering that wall. Here on the north side of the house, a lot of chipping out. Beams and columns, I'd say half are done on this side of the house already. All right, I can't really get in there. this is the laundry room, and that's been getting more plaster this morning as well. I said on Friday, I thought the top of this nearest window wasn't level. It's not. They're going to fix it. This is the bedroom at the back of the house in the middle, and Oliver's working on this doorway. Can't really get inside at the moment, but as far as I know, the bathroom in here remains untouched by plaster. This is the bathroom at the front of the house in the middle, and this was the other bathroom that was not complete with plaster. So Rico has got quite a lot more done this morning, including the upper part of that wall, still leaving the space for the niche, and he's now halfway through this wall. Not too much longer before this room's done. And O'Donnell is upstairs, +1, plastering, I don't know, is this the next story in the house? Didn't realise we'd paid for another one. No, obviously this is the roof supporting the elevated section, wall supporting the elevated section of roof. So that's getting attention before one of the bathrooms down here. That's going to make that bathroom feel even worse.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jesse.
I am accept the neutral.
He's adding neutral.
For smart.
So, we're getting what we asked for. We're getting neutral wiring added back in. There's still a little bit of a discussion with the builder about this, but I'm kind of insisting on it. I want neutral wire for everything. And I do get the argument that in some cases you may not need it. Honestly, I don't care. I want it. I want to make sure that we've got neutral wire everywhere, at the very least, so that it means I can attach pretty much any smart device to any outlet here, because a lot of smart devices still do require neutral wire. A few don't, and an increasing number don't. But I don't want to be limited with lights, for example. So, neutral wires will be going in everywhere. It's very hard to make out, but the roofing guys still roofing. And I was definitely premature this morning when I said all the trusses may have been painted. They are far from all having been painted. We're now beginning to see, though, the addition of these larger, I think they're still purlins, sea purlins, but they're putting the bigger ones in. And these, I'm told, will go all around the perimeter of roofs. I'll potentially try and get the drone up again, maybe tomorrow, see if we can get a slightly better look at this. As always, lest we forget, nothing really happens without these two things here. Number one, deliveries. Number two, mixing, preparation of the materials that they need. This goes on all the time. I don't film it that often, it doesn't change, but we shouldn't forget that this is an absolutely basic building block for this process. Here at the pool, digging has continued all morning, along with more pipe laying. So in most places now we have 2 pipes. But you dizzy pills, in some areas at the moment we have 3. I'm not sure if that is a permanent feature, but they have very nearly dug a trench all the way around this pool now. Very close to finishing that off. I asked for your words or phrases that were a little odd, a little unusual. Could you do something to match cattywampus or catawampus? Here we go. Last time I sat down in front of the camera to talk about anything, it took forever. So I'll try and whiz through these as quickly as I possibly can. So, first one. Bannockburn farming with Dave and Emily came up with cockeyed. It may be fairly familiar to people in the UK, it may not be familiar to people outside, but basically it's not straight, not right. Clint has supplied one, I'm not going to tell you the first 2 letters of this acronym, you'll work it out. foobar. It ends with beyond all repair. I think you get the meaning. Apparently that's a military term in the US. Roger Moore mentioned a word that I have heard of, but he also gave an explanation that I had never heard before. So the word is doolally, which kind of means a bit daft, gone mad. But he explained that it is from, I think it's an Indian phrase, Indian term, doolally tap, which literally means, yeah, gone mad. Doolally tap, I'd never heard that before. Paul Lee Krivenich, I hope I said that right, Paul, came up with a word that I've definitely heard before and is hugely appropriate. The whatchamacallit. A tool that you don't know the name of. Well, given that I can't go much beyond a hammer with names, I might end up calling everything the whatchamacallit. Steve Hutton came up with one that I've definitely never heard of, from bricklaying. A pig in the wall. Apparently it's when you build a wall and you start at a certain height at one end, let's say a certain number of bricks high, and you get to the other end and it's not the same. At some point it's gone a bit wrong. That's a pig in the wall. 64 Dasani came up with mommicked. Apparently a phrase from Carolina meaning screwed up. That's brand new to me. JB has come up with an Australian twist on a phrase that I was familiar with in England, on the piss, but applied here to the building process, and again, just not straight, not right, messed up. Leaning, I think, was the particular phrase he used. Because you lean over when you've had a few too many to drink. Anton Hemming, another one, brand new to me. Kick a tie. Not straight, bent. No, meant nothing to me either, but great word. A.B. Cooper. Tony came up with bless your heart. Now, back in my younger days as a kid, that was kind of a nice thing to say. Oh, bless your heart. That was a sweet thing to do. Apparently now it has become something that you'd say as a gentle little retort to somebody who has done or said something stupid. It's been reversed. Stephen P. came up with buckshee with no explanation. Stephen, what's buckshee? He also came up with skewiff. Not straight, cockeyed, cattywampus. Same kind of idea. And Jerry Mortley came up with arse about face. Sorry. That's what he said. Back to front. So there you go. Some words that you may never have heard of, some meanings or explanations you may never have come across. There endeth the lesson for the day. It's 4:30, the end of the day. Day 139. Yes, 139. Here at the pool, a lot more trench digging, a lot more blue piping, which I think is both for draining excess but also for filling it up in the first place, because the water is going to be pumped from over to the right past the house, not from the pump room right here. So, a lot of progress with that today. Nothing else on tiling, because I think tiling is close to being done. I guess there's another day, 2, 3, 4, I don't know, of digging and piping. And then we might start to see waterproofing the floor. Oh no, coping, that was next. So, the floor may have to wait a while longer. The pantry has 2 walls done now with plaster. It's too dark to go in there. Take my word for it. 2 walls done. The laundry room, ditto. 2 walls done. And lastly, downstairs. This wall, the side of the sunroom, they have extended down from above and started on the bottom section. Upstairs, this bathroom at the front of the house, in the middle, Only this bottom area of this wall remains to be done. These walls above the open area, the open down to the floor below bit, all done. Up on top, more and more red trusses. It really only applies at the moment to the front section of the house. The back of the house is yet to be painted, but they have been doing more today. Also up on top, not easy to make out, but they have been putting more of the larger size C purlins either at the bottom of trusses or the end of trusses. So there's one on the end here. In fact, there's more than one because they're on the sides, and then more over here as well. So some of those are starting to get put in. There we go. The end of the day in which we sort of skipped a day. 137 became 139. I think it's a fair reason though. You can tell me in the comments if you think I'm wrong. Won't change anything, but you can tell me. There we go. So a lot more progress today with all bits of the build: plastering, roofing, swimming pool, electrical. So, a good day. See you tomorrow.